What's going on, Rumble? Rumbillions? Are you ready to rumble? SpaceX is. They already got their stream going, and look at that Florida day. Those are some delicious looking clouds. Holy jeez, I wanted to lick them. I doubt any of you guys get that quote. We'll get to the stream here in a second. Let's first introduce my co-hosts, and while we're doing that, go ahead and muster up where you from and what you munching on. I'm Kevin from Ohio. Let's Luma wipe to my co-hosts. We got no doggos currently. Right before I started the stream, Peeps moved from the middle of the floor to behind my desk because he's camera shy apparently. Wiley, come here. Let's introduce Cone Face. Here he is. Here he comes. Direct the day. Don't hit my cord. I forgot to put it up. Hi. What's up, you radar-looking dish? He's here to F things up. He's a bull in a china shop. And Kunu, I think, is still in the other room, lying on the bed, looking out the window. And like I said, Peeps is behind me, being camera shy. I also got Wilson and Jebediah Kerman, the Kerbal from Kerbin. Fetch. Go get him. See if he gets him. Wiley got him last time. Who is that? See if he walks away with him again. No, he didn't. He didn't take our jib.
They took our jibs. They took your jib. They took your jib. Took your jib.
Back to me and SpaceX. Okay, let's see, Rumble. Locals chats, I do have the locals chat, or locals, I do have the locals chat open. So if you want to tune in there so I can spot you easier. Let me scroll up. We got hundreds and hundreds of you tuning in for this one. Don't know why. I mean, out of all the SpaceX launches, this one's gonna be the boring one, relatively speaking. None of these are really boring, but compared to other ones. And I'll explain why here in one momento. What's up, Kamikaze 3 Tiger Kevlar? Howdy, nice day for a launch, absolutely. What's going on? It looks like nobody's from anywhere. Here we go, eating some eggs. I actually made eggs this week. Spoiled the lawyer wife, now she wants them every morning. Like, no. Most mornings you're gonna get your normal lame-o bagel. I drank my eggs. Wow, like Rocky. That's hardcore, bro. Don't get salmonella. Yes, thank you guys. L Jeeper, thank you guys for tuning in on Rumble for the free speech movement. Party on. Party on, Garth. Party on, Wayne. Peanut butter crackers in a place called Midgard, Texas.
I pulled him out of a place on Midgard called Texas.
Indiana, what's going on, neighbor? Thank you guys for tuning in. All right, so let's quickly talk about the mission before they launch it. I'm just going to read really quick from Intelsat's own website just to get it out of the way. According to them, quote, the newest additions to Intelsat's North America Galaxy fleet, the most efficient media distribution system in North America. Brag much. Galaxy 31 and Galaxy 32 are the next satellites in Intelsat's comprehensive Galaxy Fleet refresh plan, a new generation of technology that will provide Intelsat media customers in North America with high-performance media distribution capabilities and unmatched penetration of cable head ends. They're critical of Intelsat's U.S. C-band clearing strategy. George Bush. Okay, back to me. Quit whining. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. So telecommunications satellite, 2 of them going up. Good stuff. So why I say this isn't going to be like a super exciting launch day is because SpaceX will not be recovering this first stage booster. Although it is going for a record-tying 14th flight today. 14 is the record for any Falcon booster. And in fact, this is the third booster that's going to reach number 14 if it launches, if it gets off the pad. The previous booster to reach 14 was for Intelsat again, so these guys are all about pushing the envelope, I guess, with their expensive payloads on board. So again, this is the third booster to go for 14, but they will not be recovering it. So after they get to orbit, I'm just going to go ahead and end this live stream because there will be not much else to look forward to. I mean, you could stay and watch the deployments, but I'll just catch those after the fact because it's Saturday and I want to enjoy it. Even though it's kind of gloomy here in Ohio today. It's not like awesome like Florida. Freaking guys in Florida taking all the good weather. All right, let's go ahead and turn the volume up a bit.
We'll see some venting from the transporter erector coming up here. And just a quick status update, both the payloads continuing to look healthy. Weather 90% go. It's a beautiful day of Florida today for that on-time liftoff. There you can see on this wide-angle shot, you can see some venting
ground gas, launch closeout.
From the transporter erector. We're clearing out the liquid oxygen from the lines in preparation for liftoff. That's totally normal. And coming up about 20 seconds from now, we'll have our next major milestone. That's where Falcon 9's internal flight computers will take control of the countdown. That's where Falcon 9 transitions to startup.
If you haven't yet, be sure to check out yesterday's episode of SpaceX in the News. It has dropped, and it's an important one. Not only because if you're...
The launch team will provide their final go...
I'm just going to turn them down a bit. I'll turn it back up before we launch. Not just if you're a Starlink user or a potential Starlink user like me and have your pre-orders in, you definitely want to watch that episode. But also, huge news dropped on the Starship front as well. We have a change in leadership at Starbase.
LD, go for launch.
And we'll talk more about why here in a second. Let's get this rocket off the pad first, shall away.
Let's watch as Falcon 9 takes Intelsat Galaxy 31 and 32 to orbit.
"15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Intelsat Galaxy 31 and 32. Go Falcon 9.
Lick them clouds, rocket. Do it. Do it for me.
Vehicles pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure nominal.
It always makes me happy when they launch on time with these huge windows where we could be just waiting hours. So that's good. Licking clouds, lick them cumulus. I think those count as cumulonimbus clouds. They might just be cumulus clouds. I didn't get a really good look.
Successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. We're carrying the Intelsat Galaxy 31 and 32 payloads to orbit. Now, we've just begun throttling down the Merlin 1D engines in preparation for maximum dynamic pressure. And we've also begun to tilt the engines. That's called gimbaling, and that's why we've begun to move horizontally away from the launch pad. That maneuver is called a gravity turn.
Max Q.
So call out there for max Q. That's the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure. Now, briefly going back to the gravity turn, we are still heading up. As you can see, the speed and altitude are increasing, but we're also heading away from the launch pad. And we do that because a rocket needs to go about 17,500 miles an hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back to planet Earth. So we'll keep speeding up the vehicle to get to
If you
orbit.
don't understand gravity turns, like the best visual you can get is by either playing the game Kerbal Space Program. It's on PC, Xbox, and maybe PlayStation. I don't know, but or you can just watch YouTube videos of it. I have some on my Cloud Liquor channel. All right, it's an easy way to understand what all that means. We'll turn the volume back up. We're coming on MECO, which is main engine cutoff, and we'll have stage step.
We'll
Good
push
stuff.
off the second stage, and then second engine start number 1, where we'll ignite the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage. So again, MECO, main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, and then SES1. And gotta love those beautiful views. This is a view from the first stage camera looking down the body of the first stage towards planet Earth. You can see the Merlin 1D's plume expanding as the density gets less and less.
Notice the lack of grid fins as well, because they don't need those since they're not going to be landing this booster. They'll just be deorbiting, or not deorbiting because it won't reach orbit. They'll just be paraboling it back into the ocean.
Stage separation confirmed. And vac ignition. Stage 1 FTS is saved.
Awesome. So MECO, stage step, and second engine start complete. Now coming up next in about 20 or so seconds will be fairing separation. Again, both of these fairing halves having flown 5 times before today's mission.
Wow, impressive. I'm not sure what the record is. I think it's like upwards of 7 maybe 6, but around that, around 6 or 7 I think.
And some great views of planet Earth behind the Merlin vacuum engine.
Earth looks sad today, awfully blue.
Fairing separation.
That's a dad
confirmed.
joke.
So there is successful fairing separation. We'll be attempting to recover those fairing halves again once they make their way back to Earth on a recovery vessel named Bob.
Acquisition of signal.
You can actually see one of the fairing halves in frame there as it goes back to planet Earth. We actually got our first glimpse of the payload as well today. As a reminder, we are not attempting landing on our first stage. So the next major milestone will be second engine cutoff number 1. That's about 4 minutes from now. And again, the reason we're not attempting to recover our first stage today is because today's payload needed a little more performance out of Falcon 9. And so we had to use the propellants that we would normally use for the entry burn and landing burn to instead take the payload to orbit.
All right, thanks, Guy. I can never remember his name, but he's the guy with the black hair and the white skunk stripe. It's pretty cool. I'm always jealous when I see it. Call the jelly scoop, okay? So next major event is SECO, which is second engine cutoff, and then they'll have payload deployment later. We won't get to that though, because I'm gonna end up cutting the stream before then. So yeah, back to the fairing deployments. He said those have been reused as their 5th flight, and they will recover those. They do that by deploying chutes on both of them and splashing them down in the drink, and then they recover them using their fleet of ships. But really quickly, I wanted to get back to talking about Starship and yesterday's SpaceX in the News episode. So Elon is handing over at least most of the control of the Starbase operations and Starship to his chief operations officer, Gwen Shotwell, who's been with the company basically since the beginning, 2002. Very competent leader. She knows what she's doing. She was just the head of Falcon and I think Starlink as well. But now she's going to be taking on additional responsibilities. And that's because Elon is focusing, at least the word on the street is Elon is focusing more on his new company, Twitter, and preventing that from going bankrupt. Although he says that about, if you've been following Elon for as long as like a lot of us have, you know, Elon says that a lot about his companies. Although Tesla did come close, but I think it was like earlier this year, Elon teased like SpaceX could go bankrupt because the economy's tanking. I mean, it's not, SpaceX is a very successful company, but it's not out of the question. I mean, if the diesel stops flowing and the trucks stop coming, they've already had to deal with supply issues. Elon said that was a big challenge. Gwen said that as well. So, I mean, it's not out of the question that, you know, the rockets could stop launching, but it's going to take some more pain. And unfortunately, I think more pain is going to come. The bottom line, though, of this whole transition from Elon to Gwen at Starbase, when it comes down to it, it comes down to what I've been warning about since 2020. It comes down to the radical left and their anti-American agenda, right? None of this would happen or would have happened if you know, people would pay more attention outside their little space bubble, and because it does matter, the culture does matter. You know, the far left hates free speech, and so enough is enough. Elon saw an opportunity to stand up for these values that are so important for America to succeed, so we can keep leading the way in space. That he bought Twitter, and because he bought Twitter, he has to focus more on Twitter, and he has to focus less time on Starship. So I've been warning, you know, this stuff is going to affect the Starship program and our journey to Mars. A lot of people didn't like me calling that out, but here we are. Now Starship is suffering because free speech was attacked. So pay attention, people. That's a lesson to take away from this. But you guys are watching on Rumble, so I know all you guys are paying attention. I appreciate you. It's the hoople heads that only stick to that other platform, YouTube, who won't join the free speech movement. They're the problem. not you guys. You guys are awesome. But we should be coming up on second engine cutoff here. Let's go ahead and turn the volume back up, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. Listen to that sound of space. Beautiful. Glowing pumpkin. Glowing pumpkin.
Signal Cape Canaveral.
Happy Veterans Day weekend to the fellow vets watching.
MVAC shutdown.
I salute you.
There is successful confirmation.
Make sure you get your
of
discounts
SECO
at
1.
your local Applebee's.
So now the teams are going to be
whatever.
evaluating the orbit that we're in. Make sure that we're right on track.
Nominal orbit insertion.
And with that call out, we are in a nominal orbit. Again, this is the first orbit. It is a parking orbit in preparation for our next event. And since we didn't attempt to land our first stage today, the next major milestone will be ignition of our Merlin vacuum engine again. That's for second engine start number 2, expected in about 26 minutes. Excuse me, about 26 minutes into the mission. So until then,
So about 18 minutes.
please enjoy the space tunes and the views from space. We'll see you back at about T+26.
We will not enjoy them. Instead, I'm going to cut over to Plebes. Peep-yopi, because he came out from behind the desk. He's snuggling with Jeb, or maybe just creepily staring at him. Peeper creeper, that's what I call him. Peep-yopi. See if we can get Kunu in here. He hasn't been on screen in forever. Kunu. Come here, Kunes. I think that's, nope. Learn your name, Wiley. I know your name used to be Jax, but we changed it. We changed all of our dogs' names once we rescue them. Kind of like what Jesus did to the apostles. Say, this is my new home. I get a new name too. Learn your name though, all right? Go away. he's learned to use this cone to his advantage, and he's likes to push people around with it. Like he's goofy. All right. You're up in my personal bubble space now with that big old cone head. Yeah. Go take Jeb somewhere. He needs to go on a mission, or just ignore him. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for tuning in with me on this one. It's been fun. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Don't do anything I would do. What else? Is there anything else? I don't think so. Godspeed.